Time flew by, and before I knew it, it was the day of the mock exam at last. Yet despite how important today was, I woke up utterly exhausted. I'd screwed up. I'd been so nervous last night that I hadn't been able to sleep at all. What's worse, I'd spent this past final week going all out and studying non-stop on an hour's sleep a day. My body was a wreck. Oh no.
つむぐさん、大丈夫ですか？そのコンディションだと実力を出し切れる感じが全然しないのですけど。
You're not wrong. Honestly, my head is pounding from a lack of sleep. Oh my god, I know how that feels. Oh.
だから夜はちゃんと寝た方がいいって言ったじゃないですか。
Yeah, this is one of those times when you should have listened to your love angel. I had no choice. My whole life's been leading up to this day after all. This past month has been the hardest I've ever had to work in my life.
それはそうかもしれませんが。
Besides, it's just a written exam. Even if I'm dead tired, I'll manage as long as I have the strength to hold my pen.
試験って全身ボロボロでやるものじゃない気がするのは私だけでしょうか。
Oh no, this is a bad idea. But we'll see how it goes anyway. Maybe not, but it's too late to do anything about it now. Anyway, it's still a little bit early, but I might as well get going soon. I started for the door, but after a couple steps I lost my balance and nearly fell. Apparently I was even worse condition than I thought. Seeing this, Edu heaved a sigh.
仕方ありませんね。このままではつむぐさんの命に関わりそうですし、恋天使である私が特別にサポートをしてあげましょう。
Aid, what are you planning to do? Instead of answering, however, Lovemiel drew her Cupid's bow and pointed at me. What? Whoa, what are you doing?
つむぐさんの体に体力回復の矢を打ち込みます。
Didn't these not work the last time you used them? A stamina restoring arrow?
はい。寝不足でこれまでの頑張りが水の泡になったらかわいそうですからね。ふらふら歩いて事故にあったりしても困るので、天使の力で体調を万全に整えて差し上げます。
Naruhodo. Oh god. Still, do you have to shoot me with that bow?
そりゃ体力回復の矢ですから。
Can't just stab him with it?
大丈夫です。ちょっと痛いだけですから。
Uh-huh. Wait, it hurts?
それでは行きますよ。
Chotomate! No, I'm kind of scared. Ignoring my objections, however, Lovemiel took aim and released the drawstring. Ugh! As the arrow pierced my chest, the impact sent me crumbling to the ground. Oi! That hurt like hell!
でも矢のおかげで元気になりましたよね。
Huh. You're right. All the fatigue from earlier had vanished without a trace, and my previously sleep-deprived brain now felt clear as day. This is incredible. Huh. Guess you're not an angel for nothing, huh? Wait a minute. Why couldn't you have used that arrow on me every day? I could have been able to study around the clock that way.
それだとつむぐさんが優遇されすぎです。他の受験者とはなるべく同じ条件で戦わないとアンフェアじゃないですか。
Whose side are you on? Well, I guess that's true. At any rate, I was just grateful that my energy was now back to full.
ちなみにつむぐさん、まだ時間にはちょっと余裕がありますよね。模擬試験を受ける前にラブノートにリンカさんの名前を書いてみませんか？
Lovemiel suggested, handing me the notebook. Huh? Why now?
ちょっとしたおまじないみたいなものです。
Fair point. I didn't really get it, but it seemed like she was up to something. Still, I did as she said and wrote down Rinka's name. There.
ありがとうございます。おお、早速浮かび上がってきましたね。
西条凛花、運命度96。必死に勉強して A 判定を取ること。
Neither our fatedness nor its advice had changed since the last time.
さてつむぐさん、ここに必死に勉強して A 判定を取ることって書いてあるじゃないですか。それを大きい×で消して自分の今の思いを書いてみてください。
Huh? How I'm feeling right now.
はい、絶対 A 判定を取るとかそういう感じのです。
Is it really okay to do that to the love note?
いいんです。思いっきりやっちゃいましょう。
Alright, if you say so. Doing what she told me to do, I crossed out the love note's advice and scribbled down my own words of encouragement. After studying my heart out, I'm definitely going to get that A.
おお、いい感じです。
Do you really think this will increase my chances of passing?
いえ、これは単なるおまじないです。模試の結果に何の影響も与えません。
Well, at least she was honest.
でも、なんだか実現できる気がしてきませんか？
I suppose you're right. Everything that's been written in the love note up until now has always come true after all.
その通りです。きっとつむぐさんが書いたことも実現しますよ。
And so, we failed miserably.
つむぐさんの健闘を祈っています。
Arigato. Alright, I better get going.
はい、いってらっしゃいませ。
With Love Meal smiling and waving at my back, I set out toward my meeting spot with Rinka. When I arrived, Rinka was already there waiting. She seemed nervous as she looked at me.
つむぐ、おはよう。
Ohayo! Looks like I kept you waiting. Gomenasai.
いいの。なんだか家にいても落ち着かなくて、私が勝手に早く来ちゃっただけだから。
I don't blame you.
いよいよ今日ね。
Yep.
なんかすごく顔色がいいけど、昨日はちゃんと眠れた？体力は満タン？
I'm feeling perfect. Konpeki, even. It's all thanks to Love Meal's stamina restoring arrow. I kept that bit to myself. Good idea. In fact, I'm feeling so great that I can confidently say I'll be completely down to my own lack of ability if I don't manage to get an A today.
そっか、よかった。ねえ、つむぐ。私考えたんだけど、もしも A 判定を取れなかったら、二人でどこか遠くに逃げちゃわない？
You mean, like a lope?
学園を中退して小さいアパートを借りて一緒に暮らすの。
Yeah, but see, what if your father sends a private investigator to find us?
二人で協力すれば生活費くらいは稼げるだろうし。
Don't worry, Rinka. I'm gonna get that A and win your parents' approval. Even if the worst were to happen, I would never run away. I know that you care about your parents a lot deep down. You'd never truly be happy if you were to abandon them. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, excuse me. I apologize for that. I know that you care about your parents a lot deep down. You'd never truly be happy if you were to abandon them like that. That's why I'm going to continue working hard to make sure that both you and your parents end up happy.
つむぐ、ありがとう。
Even though both of our parents are a couple of dicks.
もし前に変なことを言っちゃってごめんなさい。
Don't worry about it. It makes up for all the dumb shit that I've said over the last few episodes. Alright, we should head over now. Why does no one hold hands in these things, except in the first little bit of the route? Well, anyway. Rinka smiled, wrapping her arm around me. I wasn't going to lose this happiness. I was going to get that A. And so, we didn't get that A. After arriving at the test venue, I threw every last bit of effort I'd put in this past month into my exam. Thanks to Love Miel, I was in peak physical condition. And thanks to Rinka, I had all the motivation I needed. All that remained to be seen was whether or not I had the knowledge to pass.
俺のキューピッドがポンコツすぎて怖い。
Survey says... 1 week after the exam. At last, it was the day the results came in. And in 2 days' time, my ownership of the love note was set to expire. I'd invited Rinka over to my house today. We were going to look at the results together. I had already logged into the website where the results of the exam would be officially released. Excuse me. All that was left now was to press the show results button. All right. Here we go. I pressed the button. Survey says... Screen changed to reveal... Your exam results. A. I couldn't believe my eyes. I'd actually gotten an A! How much do you want to bet that they're gonna be little bitches and tell me I was supposed to get an A+? A moment late, Rinka let out a delighted shriek. Shouting with joy, she threw her arms around me. I did it! I actually did it! We hugged each other tight, sharing this moment of triumph. Now you won't have to quit! You'll be able to continue your streaming and acting career. You can do whatever you want now without worrying about your parents. I hope.
つむぐ、本当にありがとう。私、今日までずっと怖かったの。バーチャルアイドルの活動を禁止させられることや、事務所を退所させられることよりも、つむぐと別れさせられることが一番怖かった。でも、つむぐはお母さんが出した課題をクリアしてくれた。
Father's probably gonna still hate my ass. But, you know.
絶対に無理だろうって思っていたのに、私のためにクリアしてくれた。
Why did I say hate my ass? I hate my guts, you know what I mean.
それが何より嬉しいの。
Rinka brought her face closer. We pressed our lips against each other, collapsing onto the bed intertwined, and I think I'm gonna have to cut it here. Rinka! It was our first kiss in a long while, but with all the pressure we'd been under, it was impossible not to get excited in this situation. Today, Uta was hanging out with her friends somewhere, and Love Miel had tactfully opted to give us some alone time as well. Nice. In short, there was nothing around to stop us. I was starting to think that the route was going to end after the after the H scene, because they started reminiscing in the middle of it. And then they eventually, you know, did the deed multiple times. Since it had been so long since Rinka and I had the dirty, we went at it again and again, surrendering ourselves to pleasure. Our stamina and willpower eventually gave out, however, and the two of us drifted off to sleep. When I came to, I found myself surrounded by pure white. What the fuck? What the... Was I lucid dreaming? And I turned toward the voice. I saw Love Mail in her angel form. In her hand was a love note, but for some reason, it was glowing.
つむぐさん、まずは模擬試験の A 判定おめでとうございます。そしてつむぐさんとリンカさんの運命度はめでたく100になりました。
That's a relief.
これでつむぐさんのおちくちんが立たなくなることはありません。
That's definitely a relief. Yep, well that's a relief. I don't think I'd be able to live if I couldn't do the dirty with Rinka anymore, or ever for that matter.
それからつむぐさんとリンカさんの運命度が100になったことで私の願いも叶えられることになりました。
It has. When I first met Love Mail, she hadn't fully explained to me what would happen once my fatedness had reached 100. Just what exactly was this wish of hers? But just as I opened my mouth to ask, Love Mail's body suddenly shone with light.
すみません。どうやら時間が来たようです。
We already know what it is. Time?
はい。今この時を境に、私はもう二度とつむぐさんたちに会えなくなるんです。
Huh? Wait, what are you...
本来、私たち天使は人間の前に現れていい存在ではないんです。
Yeah.
私に関する記憶はつむぐさんやリンカさんたちの中から消えてしまうことになるでしょう。私の記憶からも皆さんのことが消えてしまうかもしれません。
But why? After all the meddling you've done in my life, why can't you stay with me?
すみません。これは天使の決まりなのでどうすることもできないんです。
After all the meddling.
つむぐさん、あなたは自ら努力することによって運命の相手との未来をつかみ取ることができました。
That we have.
これからはリンカさんと2人で支え合って幸せに過ごしてください。たとえ私に関する記憶を失ってもつむぐさんとリンカさんの絆は永遠で変わることはありません。つむぐさんとリンカさんの幸せを私はどこかから祈り続けています。
The moment she said this, the light emanating from her grew even brighter.
今までありがとうございました。リンカさんとお幸せに。
Tears welled up in the corners of her eyes. And mine. Trickling down her face.
もう私がいなくてもラブノートの力がなくてもつむぐさんとリンカさんのお二人ならばどんな困難だって乗り越えていけるはずです。
Is she actually fading as this goes on?
だって
Oh no.
運命度100の恋人同士なのですから。運命の花嫁リンカさんと
Don't fuck it up.
ずっと幸せでいてください。
Essentially, yes.
約束ですよ。
ちょっと、待って! ちょっと待って! I still haven't thanked you properly! There's still so much I want to say to you! And it's too late. But the next moment, there was a blinding flash and... Love Mail was gone. And the afterglow of her Wow, that's the first time I've ever seen that word used in a sentence. In the afterglow of her evanescence, all that remained was a world glittering and sparkling with light. A very warm light. I leapt out of bed. Traces of tears streaked down my face. Apparently I'd been crying as I dreamed. However, I couldn't recall what the dream was about. I got the feeling I'd been talking to someone, but it's no use. I can't remember. Unconsciously, I stood up and began pacing around the room. What was it? What was I so worked up about? I'd gotten an A on the exam and was able to continue my relationship with Rinka now, so why? For some reason, I felt as though I'd lost something just as precious to me as Rinka.
紡ぐどうしたの
This is definitely something I wasn't expecting. Apparently the sound of my pacing had woken her up.
もしかして妹さんが帰ってきたとか
Oh god, I hope not. No, nothing like that. There's plenty of time before she gets back.
だったらそんなものをブラブラさせて何をしているのよ
Rinka giggled and looked down at my crotch. Since we passed out right after redoing it, I was still butt naked.
まさか私が眠っているところをこっそり撮影しようとしていたんじゃないわよね
Of course not.
焦るのが怪しいかも
Though her accusations were completely unfounded, she glared at me reproachfully nonetheless. If you're gonna be like that, then maybe I actually will take some pictures of you. So you'd better get dressed unless you want me to save those pictures forever. Wait. Hold on. Okay. And let's go tell your parents about my exam results.
ええそうね
Eh? どうしたの?
いえ私も彼女として紡の妹さんにちゃんと挨拶しなきゃいけないなと思って
Yeah, but, you know, I'm sure she's not going to be very happy about it, but who cares?
今日もうすぐ帰ってくるのよねちょっと顔合わせしてもいいかしら
Yeah, just don't tell her what we did last night.
これから長い付き合いになるわけだしこうやってこそこそ会っていると顔を合わせるのがどんどん気まずくなるだろうし
I guess that's true, but...
何か問題あるの
She's probably not going to be very happy with you taking me from her. Well, it's just that Uta can be sort of, possessive sometimes, so things might get a little tense if I introduce you to her.
でもいつかは話をしなきゃいけないわけでしょだったら少しでも早い方がいいじゃない
Very true. Yeah, I guess, but... Just don't say I didn't warn you. You might end up regretting this.
全然大丈夫よだって紡は私のためにとっても頑張ってくれたんだもの
That's right.
私も紡といるためならどんな障害が立ちふさがろうと全部乗り越えてみせるわ
You're right. Okay, I don't think I have to censor any of that. I was confident, too, that I'd be able to overcome any obstacle if it meant being with Rinka. Having managed to complete this ordeal, I was sure now that I'd find happiness as long as I was with her. Alright, let's do this together, and overcome the obstacle I call my Imoto. Just do me a favor and promise you won't decide to break up with me. Whatever happens.
妹さんにご挨拶するのってそんなに大変なの
Rinka, you have no idea. It's hard to say. This is the first time I've ever introduced her to my girlfriend before.
わかった。覚悟しておく。あら？
Eh? Suddenly, Rinka looked up at the ceiling and tilted her head. Oh, I wish I could use the CG for a thumbnail, but I can't. Damn. From seemingly nowhere, a shower of white feathers suddenly began raining down on us.
何これ？鳥の羽？
Torino, huh? Oh, yeah. Huh. I don't know. As I stared bewildered, Rinka picked one of them up in her hand.
暖かい。なんかまるで私たちのことを祝福しているみたいだね。
Yep. The moment you said these words, I felt as though I was on the verge of remembering the person I'd been dreaming about. But though I was so close, I just couldn't recall what that person looked like.
ねえ、つむぐ。二人で幸せになろうね。
Sounds like a plan. As we watched the feathers descend upon us, I felt an inexplicable warmth light up inside me. Okay, so I'm not gonna have to use one of the default ones. Thank God for that. A few years passed since Rinka and I started dating. After graduating, the two of us both got into a very prestigious university together. In addition, Cotton-chan's channel had reached over 1 million subscribers now, making her one of the most popular virtual idols out there. What's more, her career as an actress is also beginning to take off in earnest, making her something of a rising star as of late. Rinka did not look for a job after graduating university, and instead continued her career as a streamer and an actress. Isn't that what you do? Whatever. Spreading joy and hope to all those who watched her. On the other hand, I found a job at the trading company that Rinka's father presided over, working myself to the bone every day. But recognizing my tenacity and hard work, Rinka's father finally agreed to approve of our marriage. Uto, who had an awkward relationship with Rinka at first, as expected, was now great friends with her. She always went to see whatever performance Rinka was in, and made sure to check out every single one of Cotton-chan's streams as well. And so, With the blessings of our respective families, Rinka and I made the decision to move in with each other in preparation for our marriage. And to celebrate our first time living together, we naturally had to make love. After we'd finished, Rinka and I cuddled up together naked on the bed. By the way, have you heard of this new virtual idol called the Angel of The Angel of Love me, Adam? I've been hearing a lot of people at the company talking about her lately.
もちろん知ってるわよ。同じ業界の新星だから。
Damn.
恋占いがよく当たるって話題で最近人気なのよ。あと視聴者さんが教えてくれたんだけど、配信中にちょくちょくカリンの話をしてくれているみたい。
Oh, really? That's sweet. Is it true that she can read people's love fortunes, though?
紡ぐ、恋占いに興味があるの？
Rika's gaze suddenly grew sharp.
もうすぐ私と結婚するのに？
No, I know. I'm just curious, that's all. Even if she were to read my fortune, she'd obviously tell me that you're my soulmate.
それなら占うまでもなく最高でしょ？
Fair enough. You're right.
何？どうかしたの？
It's weird, but a long time ago, I feel like someone once told me that my compatibility with you had already peaked.
誰に？
Who was it? I had the feeling it was someone I considered a friend and also family as well. I don't know. Can't remember.
そういえば事務所の人から言われたんだけど、カリンの中の人は役者の西条凛花じゃないかっていう噂があるみたい。
Ah! They found out!
まだ声が似てるって指摘があっただけなんだけど、別に隠すことでもないから公表しちゃおうかって話になっているの。
Well, you wouldn't be the first, I mean. There's a couple of voice actresses I watch on YouTube that are virtual YouTubers. It seems like I generate quite a buzz.
話題になってくれると嬉しいわ。バーチャルアイドルと役者、両方にいい影響があると最高なんだけど。それでついでに私が結婚することも発表しようかと思っているの。
Oh, I bet that would go over well. Really? It seems like an awful lot of announcements to make all at once.
情報を小出しにする必要もないかと思って。事務所も好きなタイミングで公表すればいいって言ってくれているし。
I see. I'm kind of nervous, though. I'm not gonna get a ton of backlash online or anything, am I?
紡ぐは一般人だし大丈夫でしょ？そもそも紡ぐの名前は出さないし。
I feel like a number of your fans might get pretty jealous, though.
心配性ね。そうだ。それじゃあ今度その恋天使ラブミエールって子に私たちのことを占ってもらう？
Didn't I literally just suggest that?
カリンの配信を見てくれているみたいだから、コラボを申し込んだら引き受けてくれそうだし。
Huh, that's not a bad idea.
いい結果が出ればいいんだけど。
Of course she will. If she doesn't, that'll just mean her fortune-telling abilities aren't as good as people say.
そうかもね。イエーイ！ハロー WeTube！ 皆さん恋してますか？恋天使ラブミエールです。今日は緊急特別配信。なんと私が大好きなバーチャルアイドルの南かりんちゃんからコラボのお願いが来たんです。南かりんちゃんといえば先日中の人が女優の西条凛花さんだと発表されたばかりですよね。しかも西条凛花さんは近々結婚されるみたいです。おめでとうございます。わーお、パチパチパチ
パチパチ
というわけで今回の配信では 西条凛花さんと旦那様の恋愛運を占ってみたいと思います。ちなみに旦那様は一般の方ということでプロフィールなどは公表されていないのですが、私は特別に個人情報を教えていただきました。
Is she gonna appear at some point?
それでは早速お二人の運命度を占ってみようと思うのですが、
Because I don't have anything I can use for a final thumbnail for the route.
ナブノートにお二人の名前を書いてっと。おお、お二人の運命度が浮かび上がってきましたよ。じゃじゃじゃーん、なんと運命度は花丸満点。かりんちゃんの幸せな未来をこの恋天使が保証しちゃいます。というわけで幸せな結婚生活が確定しているかりんちゃん、コラボ楽しみにしてますね。今回の動画はこの辺でおしまいです。よかったと思ったらいいねとチャンネル登録お願いしますね。ではでは、恋天使ラブミエールでした。
ユラッタ、
まあ俺のキューピッドがポンコツすぎて怖い。
I'm gonna have to make a decision on what to use for the thumbnail for the last episode. Because I don't want to get the video taken down or age restricted if I used a censored, you know. Well, anyway, that was Rinka's route. I did end up not liking her parents, like I thought. And, worked out in the end. Thank God. And Love Miel became a streamer herself. How about that? So, we have now... let's see. Uta, Isuzu. I think Minakoshi Sensei and Masuda. I'll have to take a look at the list, but we still have a few of them to do yet. But as usual, I'll let the viewers decide who goes next. Thanks for sticking around. Well, I decided to go off to Twitch for the summer. And for the rest of 2025, I might add. I did want to come back, but I got majorly into it. But here I am now. I'm not going anywhere that long ever again. But that will do it for this recording, since it's been a little over 2 hours actually, so yeah, that will do it for this recording. Until the start of the next route. Don't be a dick to your significant other. Keep on rocking.